A 3-month FBI crackdown on violent gangs and illegal drugs ended with a bang. The arrest of 50 Latin King gang members. They also seized hundreds of thousands of dollars and enough fentanyl to kill 5 million Americans. Joining us this morning to discuss is former FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago PD, Jody Weis. Jody, good morning to you. A big success for the agency, shows how the FBI really taken down all these violent gang networks in America. Latin Kings, founded there in Chicago. You were very familiar with them. Talk very briefly about this operation and why it was so important to get these guys off the streets.
Well, you know, Jen, they've been around for a long time. I think the Latin Kings started in the 50s, and they're probably one of the largest and most structured Latin gangs in the country. But you know what impressed me about this investigation was the speed. I used to always hear complaints, hey, the FBI does great work, but you take years for these type of cases. They did this in 3 months. So that to me was very, very impressive. But I think what got on everybody's attention was how the Kings were threatening law enforcement officers. And I think that really put them right in the radar scope. And the Bureau did a great job getting these folks off with local police. So it was a good catch.
They are prioritizing specifically these types of crimes at the FBI there. I want to ask you and shift gears very quickly about what's happening in Arizona, where you live, and where there's a massive investigation underway to find the mother of NBC Today show anchor Jan Guthrie. There's so many questions about this and a lot that doesn't make any sense. First, you don't hear every day an 84-year-old grandma being abducted from her home. Her cell phone was left, her car was left, her wallet was all left behind. We also know that Savannah's sister was the last one to see her and actually was taking her home from dinner, so she saw her that night. What about this case, Jody, bothers you, and how unusual is this for an 84-year-old to be abducted from her bed?
Yeah, this is a strange case because nothing seems normal. Out here, we do unfortunately have a lot of elderlies that will wander off into the desert. The desert's a harsh environment, but there's no indication that that happened with Nancy Guthrie whatsoever. There's indications she was taken, that she was taken against her will, not willingly. So the whole aspect of this thing, with her daughter's high-profile position, you'd immediately think, okay, kidnapping, money. But there's been no ransom demand.
Right.
So this is what really troubles me, because you have to remember, time is Nancy Guthrie's enemy. She apparently has medication she has to take on a daily basis. And if she doesn't get those, this could turn into a fatal situation for her. So time is what these investigators are really working against.
It seemed like from the bounce they thought there was foul play involved. They had homicide investigators at that house, it seemed like, pretty quickly. What was your thoughts behind that? And how unusual is it for, again, an 84-year-old being taken from their home?
Yeah, at first I was kind of confused because the sheriff didn't say why he thought there was foul play.
Correct.
Clearly now there's indication there was a struggle, the place was in disarray. I understand there might have been some blood found. It is unusual. With her daughter's high profile, again, my first thought was kidnapping, money, but there's been nothing has come out. But now the investigation really has to work out just slowly, methodically. Thank God they have her phone, because they can go that and see her inner circle. Who did she interact with? Who had access to the home?
So you think this is
All
more
that
of
will
an
be tracked down.
you think this is more of an inner circle type of a situation?
Well, we don't really know, but that's going to be the start, Jan. And then hopefully there's cameras somewhere that might identify a vehicle in the area that can be loaded into the license plate readers, and then hopefully that can be found. But like I said, time is of the essence. DNA processing, fingerprints takes time. So hopefully they can find a lead quickly.
So my question was, in situations like this, let's say it was a home invasion and there was a struggle, and like you said, they might have found blood there on the scene. Usually is a body taken, though, or is a person taken from the scene?
In a home invasion, no, they want stuff. No, the criminals are going to come in, they're going to take something of value, get in, get out. Hopefully they won't hurt the victim. But in this one, nothing was taken. Her phone was left, her wallet, her purse was there, keys were there. Nothing apparently of value was taken in the home. So clearly the focus was on Nancy Guthrie. But what we don't know right now was why. Without getting a ransom demand, I have no idea as to why someone would take an 84-year-old person with a high-profile daughter, and then all you hear is radio silence and nothing afterwards. And time is the criticality. Correct. In this case.
But we're also hearing, too, that she couldn't walk more than 50 yards. So so she might have also had to have been carried out if she couldn't walk that far. So there's lots of questions and lots of variables. In the meantime, is it unusual that we're not seeing more, do you think, from the family, more pleas from help from the family?
Well, I think it's got out pretty well. The media station done a good job. You know, you've done a great job getting the word out, and the sheriff has made a plea. Please, if anybody has any information, to pass it along. And I think that's going to be how this case will be solved. Somebody's seen something, and if, hopefully they'll call it in, or maybe technology will spot something. But you've got to know what you're looking for. And if there's no vehicle to load into the license plate readers, you can't. You know, what are you going to look at? But there's got to be some clue.
Didn't she have cameras? I thought there was. You know, Mark and I talked
Yep.
about this. She had cameras, right? So
Yes.
then, where's that video?
I know.
So obviously there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. What are the things investigators know they're not telling us?
Well, I think they're reviewing a lot of for the technical review of forensics. They're going to be looking through her phone, like everything they can find off that, and then the camera footage. You know, I've got to believe if there was anything of valuable, Jan, they would get it out like right now because of the time issue that I've stressed a lot during this thing. So I don't know if it wasn't there. Did the cameras not work? Were they not functioning? Did she not have a system that recorded it? We don't know yet, but
Or do they already know?
I pray they get a break.
Or do they already know in this case what did happen, and they just, because you would think we'd be getting information fast and furious every at least every hour, right? This clue would come in, this tip would come in. And I'm not sure what that area is like as far as whether it's super desolate and there might not be enough cameras of other neighbors' houses where they could have caught something on their cameras. But it does seem very unusual. We're not hearing more details about how this investigation is going.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does.
All right. Former FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago PD, Jody Weis, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jan.